Say it again.
Life is a choice.
Say it again.
Life is a choice.
You know, there are some people when it is when the time, it is time for marriage. Oh, prophet, can you tell me the will of God? They don't know the will of God all the while. All the while, they've been going to church. They never ask for the will of God. But as soon as it is time for marriage, they know the will of God. They want to know. That's why they'll be deceived. Because you cannot just wake up now and talk about will of God. It is a process. It is what? You must be in it. It must be in it. And that's why prophets deceive them. Because they're just looking for will of God. And they are not ready to flow with God. They are not ready. Life is a choice. And in the book of Joshua chapter 24 and verse 14, he says, so fear the Lord and serve him wholeheartedly. Put away forever the idols your ancestors worship when they lived beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt. Serve the Lord alone. Verse 15. That if you refuse to serve the Lord, then choose. Come on, say to your neighbor, choose. Then choose today whom you will serve. Would you prefer the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates? Or will it be the gods of the Amorites in whose land you now live? But as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. In other words, we have chosen to serve the Lord. That is our own choice. You have your own choice to make. Our choice is that we will serve the Lord. Listen, when they told me to come and join occult so that church will grow, there's only one thing I was thinking. I said to myself, I have been in this work for some time. I have been there for some time. And I have not seen too much, but I've seen a little. I've seen a little that God can heal the blind. God can raise the dead. Listen to me. When I prayed for the dead and he rose up, I have not even gone to Bible school. And I saw God. I wanted to prove that God was calling me. And so, as I prayed that prayer, I said, God, if you are calling me, in fact, use me to do something powerful. And all of a sudden, they came and called me and said, somebody is dying. And I went to that place. I didn't know the person has already died. And I've not seen that kind of a thing before. When I entered there, you can imagine what happened. Now, everybody filled up. They were looking at you. You know, they were looking at me. And me now, I remember the prayer I prayed. There's only one thing I said. I said, God, prove yourself. I told them, let's begin to worship the name of the Lord. Some of them were looking at me. Some of them do not understand what I mean. And I began to worship the Lord. And the person came back to life. When I was in Bible school, I had an encounter. I went on evangelism. We were 2 in number. God told me, go on evangelism. As we went on evangelism, I saw somebody who has been on the ground for 7 years. He cannot walk, he cannot see, he cannot talk. I've not seen that one before. She was there and she was dumped as a witch. Her children dumped her as a witch and they ran away from her because of experiences, encounters they have seen. And so because of that, now when I came, as I was about to cross, God said, enter this place and preach. When we entered there, we saw only one woman on the ground doing like this. We didn't know she cannot talk. We didn't know she cannot walk. We didn't know she cannot hear. We didn't know she cannot, we didn't know. We didn't know. But all we know was what? As we entered there, God said, begin to worship. And as we began to worship, as we were worshiping, the woman stood up. So when the woman stood up, for me now, I don't know what happened now. We were still closing our eyes and the woman stood up. When we opened our eyes, we saw the woman. She was already standing up. Now, to us, no miracle has not happened because if she cannot walk, we don't know. Until when people from outside, they began to come in and they began to shout. And when they began to shout, it was something else. So when the people called me and they said, come and join us, I began to wonder. I have seen something God can do. And the song said what? I have seen your mighty works. So I have seen the God that can break yokes. I've seen the God that can do miracles. I've seen the God that can do certain things. I've seen the God that can open the Red Sea. I've seen the God who brought me from nowhere to somewhere. So now, because my coming to Cotonou is God and not man. I did not come to Cotonou from the city. I came to Cotonou direct from the village. I was in the village. God said to me, right now, it is time to go outside the country. So when I have seen that kind of a thing, and people told me, come and join me, it was a temptation. But then, because looking at their cars, looking at their churches, looking at the crowd they had, looking at the money they were counting, it was a temptation.